So, Martin, great to have you here. What's your company? Tell me a little bit about what you do and the type of people that you work with.
Our company's Measurable Results, LLC. I work with typically manufacturing and supply chain CEOs. Been coaching or consulting for 17 years since I retired. You and I talked earlier about my biggest problem. My biggest problem is the same as everybody else, getting clients on the phone, right? I focus on trying to help businesses increase their valuation, develop strategy, execute strategy, and actually improve their performance.
So, what were you struggling with before we started working together?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, there's so many avenues out there to try to talk or to communicate with people, but they're also clogged. Yeah, there's so much noise out there. So I mean, I have a lot of connections on LinkedIn. I mean, my profile obviously is attractive enough that I'm getting connections, but I'm not getting people on the phone. Or I wasn't getting people on the phone. I don't know how to market myself, quite frankly. I mean, I know what I do for a living. I've done it for 40 years, but when you're marketing yourself, like we talked, it's a tougher situation.
So, what results did you get from working with me?
Well, I think my connect rate has gone up, but we talked about that last week. It's gone up from 21 to 36%, which is awesome. What I liked working with you, and maybe that's what we want to ask, why would anybody want to work with you? But what I liked about it is you didn't come in and say, okay, here's 3 steps, you can go do this because it worked once for you, because what you did is you didn't give me any answers. You asked me a lot of questions. You made me think. You made me go through a process, which is exactly what I do with my clients in strategy. I don't give them answers, but I make them think through the issues they're having and try to formulate their own response. And you did that really well. I mean, I enjoyed that. I thought it was, and you customize it. Because of that, you didn't come in with a preconceived answer. You came in and said, okay, let's understand what you do. Let's understand difficulties you're having. And you just kept drilling down on the questions. And I thought that was really useful.
Yeah, that was really, really good to do that. I really enjoyed it. What types of companies do you think would benefit the most by working with me?
Well, I like to work with companies between, they've been in business 5 years. I don't like to do startups, but somewhere between 10 and 50 million, because at that point you can make a significant change and difference. Companies, there are a high percentage of companies that are underperforming. And it happens for a lot of reasons. They get complacent, they accept things as they are, that kind of thing. And so somebody from the outside comes in, and I do exactly what you did. I start asking questions. Is this where you want to be? What's stopping you from getting there? What's the, and make them think that, you don't have to accept status quo. You can improve. You can always improve. And kind of resonated with me because that's where you work. So it was really easy for me.
Great. What would you tell someone who's considering working with me?
Well, I think you're a smart guy. You know your stuff for sure. That I like the way you work. I mean, like I said, I've spent a lot of money over the years with lead generation and so on. And typically what you get is somebody's got a framework, a set way of doing things, and they try to force feed your problem into their solution. And it doesn't always work that way, right? I mean, like we talked, you're selling to consumers is a lot different than selling to CEOs, which I do in my case. So you listened and asked the questions to understand the problem before you made any kind of recommendation, which I thought was brilliant. I mean, it's exactly what I would have done if I was smart like you.
So what are some specific examples of things that I've helped you with?
Well, messaging, for sure. Help me try to understand the nuances involved with reaching out to people that you don't know. I mean, I've got connections, but I don't know them in a lot of cases. So, I mean, you kind of come at it from a marketing perspective, and I don't. That's my weakness. I know that, and I'm smart enough to know that. To me, it's black and white. You got a problem, let's go fix it. Well, they don't want to admit they have a problem, so you've got to nuance that position to say maybe that's me, right? And I think you did well with that.
What has been most helpful for you so far?
Truthfully, making me think. You give me that strategic plan, a marketing strategic plan, but making me think through that, I think was really helpful. I mean, we laughed because you're kind of abstract and I'm not, so we throw this stuff on a document and you go away and then I sit down and read it and say, okay, now I get what he's saying. I have to absorb it. And I like the way you work back and forth on Google Docs where we could both edit it. So I thought that was great.
Do you have any other thoughts you want to add, or is this it?
No, I mean, you're easy to work with. You're a personable guy, you're not a jerk like some folks are. But you're easy to work with. I enjoyed it a lot. And I like it when people force me to think through things. Because in my, like I said, my core business, I know it so well. I've done it for so long. But something outside my comfort zone, which is what we're talking about, I don't think about it unless somebody makes me. And you did that. So that's the other thing I'd say.
Thanks so much. I appreciate your time.
All right, man.